Welcome to your personalized deep dive.
Okay.
Today, we're going to be exploring a collection of sources
Mm-hmm.
that all revolve around kind of this theme of taking action,
Yeah.
how to break free from those things that hold you back, and build the kind of life you actually want.
Right, right.
And we've got some fascinating ideas to explore, like this story about turning away a Girl Scout
Okay.
and how that sparked a major life change. And then this concept of watering flowers, not weeds,
I got one.
when it comes to our goals. What do you think? What jumps out at you from all this material?
You know, one of the most intriguing things about this material
Yeah.
is how it flips the script on the whole knowledge is power idea.
Yeah.
It's like it argues that action, even imperfect action, is actually the key to unlocking knowledge and moving forward.
Right, and it really resonates with a lot of real-world success stories, doesn't it?
It does.
You think about someone like Abraham Lincoln, you know, the source mentions he lost elections over and over before becoming president.
Right. He didn't have like,
It wasn't
yeah,
it wasn't like some grand plan, it was just persistent effort.
persistent effort. Exactly.
Yeah.
The source uses this analogy of a home builder.
Okay.
You don't need the entire blueprint finished before you lay the first brick. Each brick you lay teaches you something about the process,
Oh, yeah.
about the materials, even about the blueprint itself.
It's making me think about all those times I've gotten stuck because I felt like I needed to know everything, like before starting.
Right.
This almost makes fear of failure seem a bit silly, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and fear of failure is
Yeah.
definitely a theme here. But the source offers a really interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Most decisions aren't irreversible.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That kind of reframes the stakes, doesn't it?
It does. It makes me think of that saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's freedom in knowing that you can kind of course correct along the way.
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually, the source distinguishes between two types of crossroads
Okay.
we encounter in life.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
there are external ones,
Right.
things out of our control, but it's the internal crossroads that really fascinate me.
Okay.
You know, these are the points
Yeah.
where we decide to initiate change ourselves,
Yeah.
regardless of the circumstances.
Like
Yeah,
the story about Jim Rohn and the Girl Scout.
right.
You know, he couldn't afford those cookies.
Yeah.
Instead of just feeling bad about it, he used that as motivation to like totally transform his life.
It's such a powerful example
Yeah.
of someone creating their own turning point.
Yeah.
It wasn't a major life event, but he chose to see it as a call to action.
Right. And this ties into I love that
Yeah.
that metaphor that the source uses. Watering flowers, not weeds.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's so easy to get caught up,
Yes.
you know, in those negative thoughts, those anxieties, you know.
Right, right. It's like we're spending all our energy on these
Yeah.
unproductive thoughts and habits, neglecting what truly helps us grow.
Yeah, but if we can shift our attention to the positive actions, to nurturing those things that align with our goals,
Yeah.
that's where the real progress happens.
You know, it reminds me of some principles from cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
You know, recognizing and challenging those negative thought patterns is a huge part of that process.
So it's not just positive thinking.
No.
It's about actively changing our behaviors and focusing on what we can control.
Exactly. And the source also talks about, you know, the power of visualization.
Okay.
You know, creating a mental picture of what we want to achieve.
Yeah.
Remember the Jim Carrey story?
Oh, yeah.
He visualized himself getting a $10 million acting check. And years later,
Yeah.
it actually happened.
That's amazing. It's
Yeah.
almost like he used the visualization
Yeah.
as the blueprint,
Yeah.
and then his actions were like the tools to
Yeah.
bring that vision to life.
And there's actual science behind this.
Really?
Yeah, visualization activates
Wow.
similar neural pathways as actually doing the activity.
Oh, wow.
It's like mental rehearsal
Okay.
for success.
Okay, so we've got the action, we've got that vision, but what about when things get tough?
Yeah.
The source doesn't shy away from the fact
Yeah,
that discomfort's part of this process, right?
Right. It
Yeah.
it compares discomfort
Mm-hmm.
to turbulence on a plane.
Okay.
It's unsettling,
Yeah.
but the plane, like us, is built to handle it.
That's a great way to think about it. It's not about avoiding,
Right.
the bumps,
Yeah.
but it's about trusting that we have the strength
Yes.
to get through them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this concept of post-traumatic growth
Okay.
is fascinating.
Yeah.
Sometimes going through tough times
Mm-hmm.
leads to incredible personal development.
Makes sense. There's another idea in here that really resonated with me.
Okay.
This whole idea of like the eroding self.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's crucial. Yeah, it's about how we
Yeah.
subtly chip away at our authentic selves
Yeah.
by making small compromises, concessions,
Yeah.
often to please others or fit in.
It's like we're slowly giving away
Yeah.
pieces of ourselves
Yeah.
without even realizing it. And the source argues that this can lead to feeling deeply unfulfilled.
It can. And
Yeah.
this is where
Yeah.
staying true to our values becomes so important.
Right. It's about setting those boundaries, being clear about who we are and what we stand for.
Exactly. It's about
Yeah.
watering the flowers
Yeah.
of our core values,
Mhm.
even when it feels difficult or inconvenient.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. And this leads us to, I think, what is like the most compelling argument
Yeah.
in the source.
Okay.
This idea of burning the boats.
Okay, refresh my memory on that one. I remember it being pretty intense.
It is. So imagine a warrior landing on enemy shores,
Okay.
right? To show his army there's no going back.
Yeah.
He orders them to burn their ships.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a bold move
Yeah.
that forces everyone to focus on the mission ahead.
Okay, so it's about eliminating any chance of retreat.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about forcing yourself to fully commit
Yeah.
to your goal.
But isn't having a backup plan always a good thing?
Mhm.
Like what if things don't work out?
That's where the element of faith comes in. Okay.
And the source defines this broadly.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about religion.
Okay.
It's about trusting yourself, the
Yeah.
process,
Mhm.
and having that courage to move forward,
Okay.
even when you can't see the whole path
Yeah.
laid out.
I get that.
Yeah.
Like taking that leap of faith, knowing that you'll figure it out
Figure it out.
as you go.
Yeah.
But it's still scary.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
The source acknowledges that fear is natural,
Mm-hmm.
but it also
Yeah.
emphasizes the importance of surrender,
Surrender.
not giving up,
Okay.
but rather
Yeah.
releasing the need to control
Yeah.
every outcome.
That reminds me of that saying, let go and let God. But in this case, it's more about trusting
Right.
that the universe or even our own inner wisdom has got us covered.
Exactly. And the source argues
Mm-hmm.
that this surrender allows us to tap into a deeper flow
Okay.
and alignment
Yeah.
with something bigger than ourselves.
That sounds very zen.
Yeah.
But how do we balance surrender with this whole taking action thing?
Yeah.
It seems almost contradictory.
It is a paradox.
Yeah.
The source seems to be saying
Yeah.
that it's about effort
Mm-hmm.
and surrender,
Okay.
right? We do our part,
Mm-hmm.
we take those brave steps,
Yeah.
but we also
Yeah.
release the need to micromanage the universe.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like we're co-creating
Yes.
with something larger than
Yes.
ourselves.
Mhm.
But I'm also curious about this idea
Okay.
of perspective
Oh, yeah.
that the source mentions.
Perspective is everything, right?
Yeah.
The source emphasizes
Yeah.
that how we view our circumstances
Mm-hmm.
really shapes
Yeah.
our entire experience.
Two people can face the same challenge, you
Mm.
know,
Right.
but one might see it as a setback while the other one sees it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
Exactly. And the source
Yeah.
encourages us
Mm-hmm.
to cultivate a perspective
Okay.
that empowers us,
Yeah.
that sees challenges as stepping stones,
Yeah. Yeah.
not roadblocks.
It's like that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
But it's not about seeking out pain, right?
Yep.
It's about choosing how we interpret,
Right.
Yeah. Those difficulties that life throws our way.
Precisely. And this connects back to, watering flowers instead of weeds.
Yeah.
If we're constantly focused on negativity,
Yeah.
it's like we're fertilizing those weeds.
Right.
But if we can shift our attention to the positive,
Yeah.
to solutions,
Mm-hmm.
to what we can control,
Yeah.
that's where real growth happens.
This is making me think about times I've been stuck in self-doubt.
Yeah.
It really does feel like those negative thoughts have a life of their own, like
It do.
weeds taking over a garden.
And that's where self-belief comes in.
Okay.
The source is pretty clear. The believing in ourselves is essential for achieving anything worthwhile.
Easier said than done, though, right?
Right.
What if you've had setbacks
Yeah.
that have shaken your confidence?
That's understandable.
Yeah.
But the source suggests
Yeah.
that we can build self-belief
Okay.
by focusing on our past wins.
Okay.
Remember those back then moments.
Oh yeah, it's that idea that our current successes
Yeah.
are often built on these seemingly small, insignificant decisions we made
Exactly.
in the past.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to think about.
It is. The source argues that recognizing those back then moments
Yeah.
helps us to trust that even our current efforts,
Yeah.
however small,
Yeah.
are contributing to something bigger
Right.
down the line.
It's like planting seeds, you know.
Yes.
You might not see the result
Right.
right away.
Right.
But with consistent nurturing, eventually
Yeah.
you'll have this beautiful garden.
A perfect analogy.
And speaking of nurturing, the source also emphasizes the importance of self-care.
Oh, yes. This isn't just about bubble baths
Right.
and spa days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah.
prioritizing our overall well-being
Yeah.
so we can show up fully in life.
And self-care looks different for everyone.
It does.
You know, it's about finding what replenishes your energy.
Yes.
Whether that's, spending time in nature, reading, connecting with loved ones, or simply having some quiet time to yourself. I'm hearing a lot of emphasis on balance in this source.
Right.
Action and surrender,
Yes.
effort and ease, pushing forward and nurturing ourselves.
You're picking up on a key theme.
Yeah.
And along those lines, there's also a lot of talk about gratitude.
Oh, gratitude. It's one of those things that sounds simple,
Yeah.
but can be so powerful.
Right. The source argues
Yeah.
that gratitude is like a magnet
Okay.
for abundance.
Yeah.
When we focus on what we're grateful for,
Mm-hmm.
it shifts our entire perspective.
Instead of dwelling on what we lack,
Right.
we start to appreciate what we do have.
Exactly.
And that can have like a ripple effect,
It can.
on every area of our lives.
Exactly. And expressing gratitude to others
Yeah.
is just as important.
Yeah.
It strengthens our
Yes.
relationships,
Mhm.
creates a more positive and loving environment.
It's like that saying, what you appreciate appreciates.
Right.
So the more gratitude we cultivate,
Yeah.
the more abundance we experience.
And speaking of abundance,
Okay.
the source also talks about the importance
Yeah.
of love.
Love, I'm sensing a theme here.
Right.
It's interesting how the source keeps circling back to these seemingly soft concepts,
Right.
alongside the more action-oriented stuff.
It's all interconnected, isn't it?
Yeah.
The source defines love
Okay.
as the most powerful force in the universe.
Wow.
Right? It's what connects us.
Yeah.
It's what heals us.
Yeah.
What inspires us.
But it's not just about romantic love, right?
Okay, right.
It's about cultivating love in
Yeah.
all areas of our lives.
Yeah.
Our relationships with ourselves, with others,
Yeah.
with the world around us.
Exactly. And the source is clear that love isn't just a feeling.
Right.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's an action.
Okay.
It's about choosing kindness, compassion, and understanding,
Yeah.
even when it's difficult.
It's about extending grace
Mhm.
to ourselves and others,
Yeah.
recognizing that we're all on this journey together,
Yeah.
doing the best we can.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
And this ties into
Yeah.
another essential concept,
Hope.
hope. Especially important when facing challenging times, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The source defines hope
Yeah.
as that unwavering belief
Okay.
that things can and will get better,
Yeah.
even when we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's about holding on to
Yeah.
that spark of possibility, that
Mhm.
faith that a brighter future awaits us.
Yes.
Even when things feel dark
Yeah.
or uncertain.
Exactly. And the source argues that hope is something we can actively cultivate
Okay.
in our lives
Yeah.
through acts of kindness, through connecting with others,
Mhm.
through pursuing our passions,
Yeah.
through appreciating the beauty
Yeah.
that surrounds us, and through simply
Yeah.
choosing to believe
Okay.
that a better future is possible. That's a powerful reminder.
It is.
Especially when we're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged. But what about forgiveness? The Source mentions that as well, doesn't it?
It does, and it emphasizes
Yeah.
that forgiveness isn't about condoning hurtful actions or letting people off the hook.
Right.
It's about freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment, anger, and pain.
It's about choosing to let go of the past.
Exactly.
To release those heavy emotions that weigh us down, so we can move forward with a lighter heart.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It takes time. It takes effort and a willingness to be gentle with ourselves and others.
This resonates with what we were talking about earlier regarding self-compassion. Right. We need to extend that same grace and understanding to ourselves. Yes. As we do to others.
Absolutely. And speaking of self-compassion, let's talk about the idea of joy that the Source brings up.
Joy. It's so easy to get caught up in the seriousness of life.
Yeah.
And forget to make time for those moments of lightness and laughter.
It's true. But the Source reminds us that joy is a choice.
Okay.
It's an attitude. It's a way of being. It's about making a conscious effort to seek out experiences that bring us joy.
Okay.
To cultivate a sense of playfulness and wonder in our lives.
Okay.
And to appreciate the simple pleasures that life has to offer.
I think a lot of people might be surprised to hear that. It's not about waiting for joy to magically appear. It's about creating opportunities for it to show up in our lives.
Precisely. And remember, joy isn't about being happy all the time.
Okay.
Right? It's about finding those moments of lightness, laughter, and delight, even in the midst of challenges and responsibilities.
So it's about embracing the full spectrum of human emotions, while also choosing to focus on the positive, to nurture our inner child, and to allow ourselves to experience those moments of pure joy and bliss.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And the Source also talks about the importance of peace.
Okay, peace.
And how it ties into all this.
That inner state of tranquility, serenity we all crave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the Source emphasizes that peace isn't something we find in external circumstances, right?
Yeah.
It's something we cultivate within ourselves.
So it's not about waiting for the world to be peaceful before we can experience inner peace.
Right.
It's about finding that stillness within, regardless of what's happening around us.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that inner peace then radiates outwards.
Okay.
Right. Influencing how we interact with others. And how we navigate the challenges that life throws our way.
It's about responding to conflict with calmness and grace, rather than reacting from a place of fear or anger.
Exactly. And remember, peace isn't just about our internal state, right?
It's also about how we interact with the world.
It's about being kind, compassionate, and understanding, even when others are not.
Exactly.
It's about being a force for peace.
Yes.
In our own lives and in the world around us.
Beautifully said. And all of this ties into the idea of courage. That
willingness to face our fears and take action.
Yeah.
Even when it feels uncomfortable or risky.
Exactly. And the Source reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear. Okay. Right? It's about choosing to act in spite of fear.
It's about recognizing that fear is a natural human emotion. Yeah. But it doesn't have to control us.
It doesn't.
We can choose
Yeah.
to step outside of our comfort zones.
Yes.
To take risks,
Mm-hmm.
to embrace the unknown,
Mm-hmm.
and to trust that we're capable
Yeah.
of handling whatever comes our way.
And that leads us to resilience.
Resilience.
Which the source describes as our ability to bounce back from adversity.
Okay.
Stronger.
Stronger than before. Yeah, resilience is definitely something that's built, not born with, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The source suggests that resilience is developed through facing challenges, overcoming obstacles, and learning from our mistakes.
Right.
It's about having that grit, that inner strength that allows us to keep going even when we're facing setbacks or feeling discouraged.
So it's not about avoiding hardship,
No.
but it's about learning how to navigate it and to use it as an opportunity for growth.
Exactly. And remember, resilience is a muscle.
That grows stronger with practice.
Okay.
The more we challenge ourselves, the more we overcome obstacles,
Yeah.
the more resilient we become.
This connects beautifully to the source's message about embracing discomfort.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's through those uncomfortable experiences, those challenges that push us to our limits, that we develop true strength and resilience.
Absolutely. And remember, the source also talks about the importance of wisdom.
Wisdom, that deep understanding of life and ourselves. It's something we often associate with age and experience, but the source seems to suggest
It's more than that.
It's more than that.
That's right. The source suggests that wisdom is also about our willingness to learn from our experiences, to seek out new knowledge, to reflect on our lives and to apply what we've learned to make wiser choices.
So it's not just about accumulating knowledge. It's about using that knowledge to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
Exactly. And remember, wisdom isn't about having all the answers.
Right.
Right? It's about asking the right questions, seeking out diverse perspectives, and being open to the mystery and complexity of life.
It's about embracing the journey of lifelong learning and recognizing that there's always more to discover, to understand, and to experience. Absolutely. And wisdom goes hand in hand with the source's emphasis on
integrity.
Integrity, that quality of being true to ourselves and living in alignment with our values.
Yes.
It's about doing what we say we'll do.
Right.
Being honest in our interactions and making choices that reflect our deepest beliefs.
Exactly. And remember, integrity isn't about perfection.
Right.
Right? It's about progress.
Okay.
It's about striving to live in alignment with our values, even when we fall short.
It's about having the courage to be honest with ourselves and others, to admit our mistakes and to make amends when necessary.
Which brings us back to kindness.
Kindness.
Which the source kind of weaves throughout this whole discussion of action and self-development.
It's such a simple yet profound act.
Yeah.
But it can be so powerful.
Absolutely.
And creates
a more positive and compassionate world.
Absolutely. And the source emphasizes that kindness isn't just about being nice.
Okay.
Right? It's about making a conscious choice to treat others with care, consideration, and understanding, regardless of their actions or beliefs.
It's about extending grace, forgiveness, and a willingness to see the good in others, even when it's challenging.
And remember, kindness isn't weakness.
Okay.
Right? It's strength.
Okay.
It takes courage to be kind.
Right.
Especially in a world that often values competition and self-interest above all else.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected, that we're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
And that our actions have this ripple effect on the world around us.
Which leads us beautifully into the topic of
contribution.
Okay.
Yeah.
The source suggests that each of us has something unique and valuable to offer the world.
Okay.
It's about recognizing our talents, our passions.
Expert speaker.
Passions, our experiences, and then finding ways to use those gifts to make a positive impact on others.
It's about finding our purpose, our why, and then using our abilities to serve others, to contribute to something meaningful.
Yeah.
And to leave the world a better place than we found it.
And contribution doesn't have to be a grand gesture.
Okay.
Right. It can be as simple as a kind word, a helping hand, or a listening ear.
It's about showing up in the world with a generous heart, a willingness to help, and a desire to make a difference.
Yes.
No matter how small.
And all of this contributes to the legacy.
Okay. Legacy, that enduring impact we have on the world long after we're gone.
Right.
The source seems to be saying it's not about waiting until the end of our lives to think about legacy.
No.
Yeah. It's something we create.
We create
every single day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about living a life of purpose, integrity, and love.
Yeah.
Knowing that even small acts of kindness, generosity, and compassion can ripple out and create a legacy.
Wow.
That extends far beyond our own lifetimes.
It's inspiring to think that our actions, however small, can have such a profound impact.
It really is. And this whole conversation reminds me of that passage in the source where it talks about embracing those turbulent descents in life.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah.
It compares it to like an airplane hitting rough air.
Right, as it comes in for a landing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that discomfort is often a sign of growth.
Okay.
It means we're pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones. Expanding into new territory.
And just like an airplane is built to withstand turbulence,
right,
so are we. We have that inner strength and resilience to get through those tough times.
It's not about avoiding discomfort altogether.
Okay.
It's about recognizing it as a natural part of the journey.
Okay.
Trusting ourselves to navigate it.
Yeah.
And knowing that it often leads to something even better on the other side.
Yeah. So how do we deal with those moments when the turbulence feels really intense? When self-doubt creeps in and we start questioning everything.
That's where self-compassion becomes crucial. The source emphasizes that we need to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a close friend.
I think that's so hard for a lot of people.
It is.
Myself included. Yeah. We're often our own worst critics.
Right.
Much harsher on ourselves than we would ever be to someone else.
It's true.
Yeah.
But the source suggests that we can practice self-compassion by noticing those critical thoughts.
Yeah.
And then consciously choosing to reframe them with kindness and understanding.
So instead of beating ourselves up for mistakes, we can acknowledge them, learn from them, and then move on with a more gentle and supportive inner voice.
Exactly. And this self-compassion makes us much more resilient.
Okay.
It allows us to get back up after setbacks, to learn from our experiences without shame or guilt.
Right.
And to approach life with a more loving and accepting perspective.
This reminds me of the watering flowers metaphor again.
Right.
It's about nurturing ourselves,
yes,
tending to our own well-being, and cultivating the supportive inner environment where we can truly thrive.
A beautiful connection.
Yeah.
And speaking of cultivating a supportive environment, the source also talks about the importance of mindfulness.
Mindfulness. It's become such a buzzword lately.
Right.
But what does it actually mean in the context of all this?
The source defines mindfulness as paying attention to the present moment.
Okay.
Without judgment.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about becoming aware of our thoughts, our feelings, our sensations, and our surroundings without getting swept away by them.
So So instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we can train ourselves to be more present, more engaged in the here and now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this present moment awareness allows us to cultivate a sense of peace, gratitude, and appreciation for the simple joys of life.
It's like hitting the pause button on all the mental chatter, and just allowing ourselves to fully experience whatever's happening right now.
Precisely. And the Source emphasizes that mindfulness isn't just about meditation. It's about bringing that present moment awareness to all areas of our lives.
So whether we're eating, walking, working, interacting with others. We can practice mindfulness by simply paying attention to our experience with curiosity and without judgment.
Exactly. And remember, mindfulness is a practice, not a destination. Right? It's something we cultivate over time with patience, compassion, and a willingness to return to the present moment again and again.
It's like building a muscle.
Yes.
The more we practice, the stronger our ability to be present and mindful becomes.
And speaking of building muscles, the Source also talks about flexing our creative muscles.
Creativity. Now that's something I can get behind. But I think a lot of people might assume this is just about artistic expression. The Source seems to have a
broader definition.
Broader definition, doesn't it?
It does. The Source defines creativity as a way of approaching life. A way of thinking outside the box. A way of solving problems. And a way of expressing ourselves authentically.
So it's about tapping into that inner wellspring of imagination. Exploring new ideas, experimenting with different approaches, and bringing our unique vision to the world.
Exactly. And remember, creativity isn't about perfection. Right? It's about playfulness, experimentation, and a willingness to make mistakes. And learn from them.
It's about giving ourselves permission to be messy. Imperfect. And to explore the unknown. Without fear of judgment or failure.
Precisely. And this creative expression, in whatever form it takes, allows us to tap into a deeper sense of joy, purpose, and fulfillment in our lives.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
It has.
So much to think about in terms of taking action, overcoming fear, building resilience. And ultimately becoming the architects of our own destinies.
It really has. And I think the Source leaves us with a powerful question to ponder. What is one weed you can stop watering in your life today? And what flower can you nurture instead?
That's such a great question to reflect on. It reminds us that we have the power to choose what we focus on, what we nurture, and ultimately what we create in our lives.
Exactly. And remember, this journey of personal growth is an ongoing adventure. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns, moments of triumph, and moments of challenge.
But the key is to keep moving forward. To embrace the journey. And to never lose sight of the incredible potential that resides within each of us.
Beautifully said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and inspiration to apply to your own life.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep watering those flowers. Keep pushing those boundaries.
Keep growing.
And keep creating a life that is truly aligned with your soul.
Beautiful.